Data is power, especially when you know how to process it. Data driven parenting by Temi Olajide. She breaks down how to get the data first, then how to analyze it in bringing up your children. Hi, I'm Roving. Welcome to Roving through Books, and today we'll be discussing Data Driven Parenting by Temi Olajide. I read this book last year and I realized, aside from parenting, there are other areas you can apply it to. For example, when I first started my series, I realized I didn't have thumbnails. I was told to have thumbnails, but I was like, that thing is too stressful. I mean, I have to design thumbnails and all of that, and I just left it like that. So when I saw that, oh, this is what's happening. Nobody told me again before I went to design my thumbnails, and then I realized, oh, that thumbnail wasn't really working, so I had to design my thumbnails again. If you check my channel, you realize that the very first video for Welcome to Roving Through Books, there's no thumbnail. It was like that for a couple of days, and then I realized I had to create thumbnails. So the first set of thumbnails I'll see that they're from day 1 to day 20 or so, and then from day 20, is it day 20 or day 18 upwards, you realize that I changed the thumbnails, and that's what I'm using for now. If the spirit of inspiration comes upon me to change my thumbnails, I will do that again. But for now, you will take it like that. So that is one of the things that data driven mindset does to you. So I realized that, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do, and this is how I'm supposed to channel the data I have gotten, and that's what I did. Aside from that, you can use data to know, oh, this is the certain time I should post, this is the thing I should do. And some people say that posting time doesn't really matter, and I take that too sometimes, because I have posted things at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., like different times, and they've gotten different traction. For example, last week I made a tweet around, was it 1 or 3, and it just sort of blew up by evening. So if I waited till evening, it may not have gained as much traction as it had gained around that time. I've also made posts at that time that did not gain traction. So sometimes there are other factors in place you should watch out for, like what is it exactly that you're talking about, what is it that is in that tweet, and how did you drop the piece of information. For example, there's someone I know who has been riding heavily on the Kick Tinubu Out campaign. So she's been making tweets on everybody gets, although now recently she has sort of like channeled it to maybe to getting your vouchers card, because she realized that she was getting people um getting hate mails and all of that. She was being threatened. Now I don't know if that is why she reduced it, by the way. But from what I can see, I've not spent so much time on Twitter recently because life issues. Thank you so much, Nepa, for making my life more bearable. But that's beside the point. So in data driven parenting, you learn that first off, every child is different. I, for some reason, today in church, they were talking about parenting, and that was one of the things that was mentioned. Every child is different, so you need to know how to train this child. Is different from how you train another child. There are some children that the best way to punish them is to tell them you're not going to eat. So I am a children's teacher at church, and there's this really cute boy, baby boy that I really like. And I remember one time he did something in church, and I was like, I'm not going to let you eat your food. If you see the switch of emotions, like he was so quiet, he was so gentle. I was like, I'm sorry, you're going to eat, but just not now. I had to, like, because I didn't know how much food was important to him as a person. But now I know that, and I know I'm not going to threaten him with food because it is very, very important to him. So, except he does something extremely bad, like very, very bad, that's when I can use food to threaten him. Other than that, that's a very wrong area to go to. He doesn't even, if he likes, say, I'll beat you, he doesn't care. So I've learned that is one of the things that data driven parenting will teach you. As much as you're not a parent, I feel like many a times you're going to have relations with children. Whether sometimes maybe your colleague brings your child to work, or your friends bring their children over or something, you're just going to have to relate with children, and you need to know how to relate with children. Children are special category of humans, very special. Why? Because when you think they're very small, but they're very smart. Children, I like watching how smart children are. I like seeing them do things, but watching them be their own person is just a very beautiful thing. For example, One of them will be like, she wants me to feed her, and then for some reason she'll be like, today I don't want you to feed me. So it's just her personality. She's like, this is what I want to do, but this is not what I want to. This is not what I want another time, and you have to let it be, because children are different. They are very smart. They know what they want. They know how to go for what they want, and it's very important also. And aside that, you learn children fix things by themselves. For example, if a child is struggling with learning which shoe to wear, I think with time, when you teach them, when you let them learn by themselves that, oh, this is a shoe to wear, it sticks faster than when you're always teaching them that this is a shoe to wear. I mean, data driven parenting, Timmy gives so many examples of parents using data driven insights to raise their children and how it impacts them. How you learn that, oh, if you adjust their sleeping time just by so time, or you adjust what they eat just a little bit, this is how they act. For some children that eat a lot of sugar, some parents have realized that once they cut down on the sugar, there's a certain way their children expect. There's a certain way their children act. It's because some people give their children sugar before bed. I'm like, if you're giving your child sugar before bed, you expect that child to sleep. Are you for real? Are you being serious? So you're supposed to use data to know, oh, it's about time to sleep, so you cannot give this child sugar. And for some children, it is different. Some children, I don't know if it is true, but I think some children, sugar makes them lethargic, so they'll feel like they need to sleep and all of that. So you can learn how to drive or get data by reading this book, because it is not getting data is a very important thing, and you should know that getting data is very important to analyzing it. If you don't get your data correctly, there's no way you're going to analyze it correctly. Which is why I recommend data driven parenting by Temi Olajide to pretty much everybody. You don't have to be a parent to read this book. You don't have to, and you can also give it to parents that you know, so that when they're raising their children, you know these are the particular things to watch out for. You watch out for their sleep routines, for their eating habits, for because raising a child is a lot of job. I don't know if you know how much of what goes into raising a child. It is a 247 job where you can take no break from, except the unmentionable happens. That's when you can take a break. So far, so good. What I've been seeing is no matter how old the person is, so far their parent is still alive, they are still a child. So far as parent is still sane and all of that, they are still a child. So it's a job that is very difficult to do. It is very tasking. And if you intend on being a parent or you are being one, you need all the help you can get. And that's why books like this exist. And that's all for today. Bye, guys.